Welcome to the June the 6th edition of It's Happening in Grand Prairie. We're delighted to have you in our viewing audience and hope you'll remain with us throughout our program. If you're interested in producing your own program, remember that the Stora Cable TV Production Department is at your disposal. If you'll call 263-1617 and put your name on the list for the next session. And we'd like to welcome a new graduate of the Stora group of the workshop last Saturday. Jay Young is on camera number 1. And Jay, we're delighted to welcome you, and we're glad you passed the test and can work with us tonight. Also, we're delighted to welcome a co-host this evening. Mr. David Weiner, the president of the JCs, is going to bring us some information about the JCs and the Chamber of Commerce, and also he's going to stay with us during this program as our guest co-host. We also have a very special person as our first guest for the evening, and Chief of Police David Kunkel is with us to tell us that there's a very special thing that's happening within the police department in the month of June. On the way to the forum this evening, I noticed the Bonanza had a sign up, and he says June is a very special month. You want to tell us about it, Chief?
Yeah, I'm very pleased and excited about it at the same time. We've, in the Grand Prairie Police Department and the whole community of Grand Prairie, decided to try to impact and target residential home burglaries as a crime that we would like to reduce in the month. And we picked residential burglaries because, from my perception, after attending a lot of neighborhood watch meetings and phone calls I get and hearing citizen concerns in general, they've identified residential burglaries as probably the crime problem that they are most concerned with, feel most threatened by. And we decided to pull out all the resources we could, pull out all the stops, initiate citizen participation in every area. And what we're doing, we're trying all different kinds of methods of patrol. We've putting people out in marked and unmarked squad cars. We're using horses. We've used, we'll be using bicycles. We've not placed any bicycles out yet. Officers on foot. They're driving vehicles that are marked and not marked, and civilian clothes and in uniforms. We've encouraged all citizens, but especially our neighborhood watch people, to call in suspicious information. We've contacted business people throughout the community to publicize the program. We contacted independent insurance, not independent, but local insurance agents in the city of Grand Prairie, and 16 of them each donated $25 to place 4 large billboards in the city. We've targeted the people we consider the most serious offenders for special surveillance and police activity. And one of the things that pleases me the most, Thursday night, we got a call from a citizen on a suspicious person, ended up arresting a residential burglar. We talked to a gentleman, I use the word gentleman loosely, but anyway, a man who's going to clear from 10 to 15 residential burglaries.
Well, that's just wonderful. I know that David has a very important question to ask you, because he saw your press release, and we looked that over a few minutes before you came in. What were you most impressed by, David, as far as this report is concerned, of the new innovations especially?
Well, I was very impressed with the fact that you had your officers out on horseback. That was a novelty to me, and I know that the fellows are having a good time with it. It seemed real interesting to me.
Well, wonderful. Is this tried in another city, Chief Kunkel? Are you following a pattern, or is this something brand new for you?
We probably are not doing anything by itself that's new, but I don't know anybody who's tried this comprehensive a program. The only thing that may be new, and one of the most important things that I was negligent and didn't mention, is the what we call bounty on burglars. The Crime Commission has agreed to pay a $200 reward on any information that leads to the arrest and indictment of a residential burglar. And hopefully that'll give us some good information from the community. But the horses are especially, it's really been kind of intriguing to me. Out of everything we've tried, horses have received by far the most publicity. The officers on horses say anywhere from 200 to 400 people will contact them a day just to say they support the program and how much they appreciate seeing it. And being on a horse has some advantages besides just the novelty of it, that it puts you up high so you can see over the stockade fences that so many of us have. You know, you can see a lot but you can still cover much more ground than you could on foot. And so it has some utility, and I think it may have some potential for continuation. It's just a pilot program right now.
Well, wonderful. You could at least go out through the terrain on horseback, where probably you couldn't take a squad car, and that's probably an advantage. I noticed also that the flooding method that you're going to be using, the flooding of officers in an area, how do you plan to use this, Chief?
Okay, what we do is normally police officers are assigned to specific geographical areas, and we have, say, 9 working on our day shift. What we will do at various times, and we've already done this several times this month, is we just provide a minimal people to answer routine calls for service. We'll pull out 7 squad cars and put them in a very, very small geographical area to give very intense patrol. And what we're trying to do is make people as much as possible think the police are everywhere. And we have, like I said, we will target areas at various times for this type of approach.
Well, have you thought about, say, a junior patrol or a teen jury type patrol or a kitty car watchers or the realtor rovers or something like this? You have people all over this town that are, and especially now during the summer when the boys and girls are out of school, I think if they all got an armband, do you think you could get some of the business people maybe to sponsor a junior patrol or something like this, and that would give you a little bit more input? Or are you looking for new ideas, or you think you have more than you can say grace over?
No, we really don't. In that same line, a local pizza owner called, and he was somewhat outraged that we did not call for his support in a joking sort of manner, because he has delivery cars out throughout the city, and he wanted to know what to tell his people and how they could be of support. So no, we obviously didn't think of everything.
Well, good. Have you had a pretty good response from the business community, or have you had time to have a good response yet from them?
I have not looked at the increase in suspicious person calls, but yeah, the business community support has been tremendous. Like you said, the Bonanza, marquees all over the city, the local insurance agents, everybody seems to be doing more than I would have expected them to do. And
the Daily News has done a wonderful write-up for you. We made a clipping of that, and we're saving that for you until after the program. And before you leave us now, David, while he's giving a little resume about his personal bio, if you have another question that you'd like to ask him, we'll come back to you in a minute. But Chief, there are many people in our Storer Cable TV audience that may not have ever met you personally and might like to know a little bit of something about you. Now that you've been in Grand Prairie for about a year, tell them where you came from and a little something about yourself personally. I think they'd like to know that.
Okay, I was with the Dallas Police Department for 10 years. I left at the rank of captain. I am 32 years old. My interests are primarily running and reading. I'm married. My wife's a first grade school teacher for the Dallas Independent School District. She helps get on the Grand Prairie School District. I've got a son who's 9 years old. I've enjoyed my tenure in Grand Prairie. It's been very educational. It's at times frustrating, but I wouldn't trade for it for all the world. I have tremendous love for the people in the community of Grand Prairie.
Wonderful. David, you have a parting comment you'd like to make?
Yes, ma'am. I really don't have a question to ask the Chief here, but I would like to say that I'm very impressed with him as an individual, as well as what he's done with the police department. I think he's done a fantastic job with the community, and for what he's contributed, and how he's helped the city of Grand Prairie.
It's been wonderful, the many new programs that you have brought that we had not had in the past, Chief Conkle. And of course the Crime Watch, the Neighborhood Watch, many of these things we hope will help the community, and we'd like to salute you from It's Happening in Grand Prairie. Thank you for being with us. And before our guest leaves, we always let them have a parting shot with the audience. And we'd like for you to tell them how important it is for each one of them to be the eyes and the ears and the telephoners for the police department. If you would encourage them in that way, we'd appreciate it very much.
Yeah, it's one of the most fortunate things that have happened recently is police have become aware that we can't do our job without the support of the community, without people calling suspicious activity, getting involved, that we're crippled, and without the support of the citizens, like I said, we're almost helpless. And I'm glad to see it. I feel very confident with the direction that this country is going in the area of crime, and what the police and citizens can do together.
Thank you very much for being with us. Thank you, David. And if you'll remain with us, we're going to a promo of Robert Willman and his sports show, and then we'll be right back with our next guest.
Hello, I'm Robert Willman of Sports Talk, and this summer we've got something special for you on Channel 10. We'll be giving away free passes to either the Texas Sports Hall of Fame or Whitewater. All you have to do is watch Sports Talk and answer the week's trivia quiz. Just write to Store Cable, 625 Dickey Road, Grand Prairie, Texas, 75051, and then put to the attention of the production department. Please include your name and phone number so we can get in touch with you. The winner will choose from either 2 passes from Whitewater or 2 passes from the Texas Sports Hall of Fame. That's all you have to do is watch Sports Talk on Thursdays and Fridays at 8 o'clock and then Saturday morning at 11 a.m. on Channel 10. So watch and win from
Store Cable, a commitment to excellence.
Thank you very much, Mr. Willman, and we hope that all of you will watch Sports Talk because that's a very, very interesting program. And now for our very next guest. Sandy Farah is very important to the city of Grand Prairie. She's a volunteer, and she is the president of the community theater. And I noticed in the paper that, or in one of the directives, the works, that they call you the director. Which is right now?
Well, president, really.
Really, Sandy Farah is the president of the community theater, and she came to us, and David and I are very excited about having such a lovely young lady with us tonight, and she's going to tell us about something special that's going on in the community theater. Sandy, you want to tell us a little bit about what's going on?
Okay. We are getting ready for our 3rd production of a musical for the Grand Prairie Community Theater, and this year's production is going to be Pajama Game. We are starting auditions this week. It's not this coming week, it's this week.
Right.
Thursday and Friday nights from 7 to 9 p.m. at the library, Grand Prairie Community Memorial Library, and on Saturday morning from 10 to 12. And we're asking people from 15 to 50 to come out and audition for us.
Well, now I'd like to ask you this. How many people are you looking for in this cast overall?
At least 50.
At least 50 people.
That's
Anyone
right.
that's 15 years of age up to 50, and you're looking for 50 of these souls to come and be with you.
That's right.
Oh.
That's right. From 15 on up. Not
Yes.
necessarily stop at 50, from 15 on up.
Yes, you'll take it. Oh, well, good.
And
that
if
sounds
they-
very exciting.
If they don't want to be out on stage or shy or something like that, if they can drive a nail or they can paint or anything like that, we've got a place for them.
David, have you ever been involved in the community theater?
Oh, not much more than just trying to help raise some money with
Good.
selling
We need those
tickets.
kinds too.
Well, now, other than raising tickets, do you think maybe you might twist his arm and get him involved in the community theater? I think he would be a very good candidate,
I do
don't
too.
you?
I do too.
Well, before you leave us, we'd like for you, do you know a little bit about the musical Pajama Game, but not enough that people wouldn't want to come and see it.
Oh,
You
no.
want them to buy tickets and come,
That's
but
right.
tell them just a gist about
It's going to
it.
be good. It's about a pajama factory, and these people that work there are trying to get a 7.5-cent raise. And Doris Day played the lead in the movie. I can't recall who was on Broadway, but she is head of the grievance committee, kind of like the union. And they get a new superintendent, and he comes, and they fall in love, and it's about the factory workers trying to get their raise, and
I see.
it's got a lot of good songs in it that everyone will be familiar with.
Well, how many good leads do you have in it? How many boys and how many girl leads do you have?
Okay, I think it's like 6 males and about 10 women.
Oh, that would be
We've got
very...
some nice leads.
David, here's your chance.
Maybe I
right.
should jump on that.
Come right on.
Well, David, I know that since you mentioned tickets, you're going to have to ask them the price and everything.
Well, certainly. How much they cost?
Okay, it will be $4 for adults and $2 for children 12 and under and senior citizens. and you can't get a better deal anywhere around.
Now, you're going to have to repeat that for a little old lady so that I can get all of this down. Now, Sandy, $4 for the adults.
$4 for adults, $2 for senior citizens, and children 12 and under.
12 and under. So that means that David can bring his wife and all of his nieces and nephews of the Brown family.
That's right.
And I can gather up all of my grandchildren and come and buy a ticket for $2 for all of these children under 12.
That's right. That's
And
right.
where are we going to have this big bash?
Okay, H.H. Chambers Auditorium. The production date is set for July 29, 30, and 31st. That's a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday afternoon.
And that's at the Chambers Auditorium.
Right.
All right. Now, this is going to be very exciting, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
All right.
We've got a new director this year.
Tell us about your new director.
Bill New Year. He played Billis in South Pacific. That's how many people remember him. Mike Dyer is going to be our musical director. He was
Yes.
Lieutenant Cable in South Pacific. We're utilizing all these, getting them back. We let them have off a year, so we're getting them back now. Mike Carroll is going to produce this year. So we've got a whole new crew. Everybody's excited and ready to go.
Well, I understand that you have made a pledge that if you make $1 million on this one production, you are going to build that facility that you need desperately.
Definitely.
Oh,
That's
wonderful.
Right. That's
well,
right.
Sandy, you've been so neat to be with us, and I'd like our viewing audience to know that when we called her at 5 minutes after 6, she was in the flower bed doing the flower beds and had forgotten her date with us, but she got ready, and isn't she beautiful to have come
Thank
out
you.
of the flower beds? And Sandy, we'd like to thank you for coming and being our guest, and before you leave, you need to look out to camera number 2
Okay.
and tell everyone how important it is for them to come and try out and audition for this very important musical.
That's right.
Y'all come.
This is very important to Grand Prairie. We hear about Arlington Community Theater, Irving Community Theater. They don't have any better talent than we do right here in Grand Prairie. And let's come out, audition, and we'll prove it to the Metroplex.
Oh, that's a wonderful send-off.
Okay.
We thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
And is there any parting thing, David? Are you going to pledge any tickets or anything?
Just have to get out there and get after
That's
it.
right.
Make it
Push.
to it. I'm ready.
Good. And we'll be right back. Thank you, Sandy Farah, for such an exciting news about the musical coming to Grand Prairie, the Pajama Game. And the Arts Council also has another announcement. Georgia Clemson said that we must tell you about the free concert. The North Carolina Boys Choir is going to be in Grand Prairie. That's this coming Wednesday, June the 8th at 8 p.m. at the Earl Tom Keel Theater at South Grand Prairie High. So on Wednesday evening, if you don't have another commitment and want to hear a choir of 35 boys that sing in Latin, in German, and in English, make a commitment and go to the Earl Tom Keel Theater. Remember the date, June the 8th, Wednesday at 8 p.m. And a great big thanks, and we'd almost give him a TV hug if he was here, to the Republic Bank and their president, Charles Grimes. The Saturday night reception of the dinner and the benefit for the Quality of Life Foundation and the new Chamber of Commerce building was a very smashing success. Thank you, Charles Grimes, and we give you one of our It's Happening salutes for making this happen. $42,260 plus was raised that evening, pledged to the building of the new Chamber of Commerce, and a great big thanks to the Independent American Savings and the View Corporation for their $40,000 contribution. That was a real big deal, and thank you, Charles Grimes and Republic Bank and the 6th floor with Dean Dawley Enterprising providing us with that space. Congratulations to the Grand Prairie Daily News and the UPI Awards. They received 7 awards, and 2 of them, of the first place awards, went to our editor, Casey Seelix, 1 to Debbie Henley, who was formerly with the Grand Prairie Daily News and is now freelancing. She got 1 for her feature story of the KKK. Also 1 to the news staff for the John Parrish shooting spree that was in Grand Prairie. And 1 to the sports, to Randy Jennings. And we think this is very commendable, and a salute to to the Grand Prairie Daily News. And I believe you have something for us, David Weiner.
Yes, ma'am, Miss Jackson. I'd like to take this time to make a couple of class reunion announcements. The Shady Grove class will have their reunion for their former students, parents, and current students, as well as with their teachers, on June 11th. Have a little reunion at the Turner Park Pavilion. That'll be at 9 a.m. And if you have any further information or questions you'd like to ask about it, there's a couple of phone numbers here. It's 264-5924 and 264-6549. Again, that's the Shady Grove reunion, and that will be on June 11th. Also, the Class of 73 reunion with South Grand Prairie High School has a date for June the 18th for an all-day picnic and party. And this is to take place at Turner Park Pavilion. It begins there, and they're going to end up at 8:30 that night at the Woodcrest Country Club. Have a little big shindig there. And
Great.
it looks like your contact is Brenda Bowen at 264-2923. And again, remember your date. It's June the 18th for that all-day party. In addition to this, class reunion of 1973 for the Gophers at Grand Prairie High School. We're going to have on July 30th at the Flagship Inn from 8 p.m. to 1:30 a.m. We're going to have a little get-together. And the contact person is Brant Kruger. Looks like his phone number is 264-2545. And there's another number here and for Sharon Smart Floyd at 647-0656. And you have anything else for us, Miss Jackson?
Oh, yes. I have a very special guest to introduce. I have the president of the JCs, the brand new president of the JCs, who is co-hosting this show. And at this time, he has a very special project going on with the Chamber of Commerce. And we want you to hold on to all of those reunion announcements that we have left. And David, would you look out into the camera and tell everyone what's going on your special date with the Chamber and the JCs?
You bet. I'd be more than happy to. We're real excited about reforming our group, and we've been given a fantastic opportunity to co-sponsor with the Grand Prairie Chamber of Commerce, which we want to give thanks to Mr. Bill Arnold, who's the president, to, as I say, co-sponsor Grand Prairie Night. It's an annual event where Grand Prairie gets a little billing out there with, to promote the city. And we think we've got a wonderful package. We've got a Friday night, which generally they don't allow this type of promotion on a Friday night. And all you folks, you got to get out and do something anyhow. It can't be anything better than go to the ballpark. In addition to that, it's a doubleheader with the Texas Rangers playing the Oakland Athletics. And the best thing about it, you're really getting 2 for 1 with the doubleheader, but we're offering regular $6 tickets for $4.50. So we've had some fantastic response, and we're really looking forward to selling a lot of tickets and having a big crowd there, and maybe offering the opportunity for our mayor, which she doesn't know yet, but I'm going to ask her to come throw out the first ball. And we're real excited about it.
I noticed that you have here that you can get tickets at the Mercantile Bank, and I believe you're pretty well familiar with this Mercantile Bank, since that's David's place of employment, the Republic Bank, the First City Bank, and at the Chamber of Commerce, and their number is 264-1558 if you have any questions. And David, would you like to give them your number in case they can't get the Chamber about tickets or any other information about this great night?
Yes, ma'am. I would be more than happy for anybody who has any questions or any desire to purchase some tickets to call me at 262-3501, extension 14.
Wonderful. And we'd like to thank you for all of that good information about Ranger Night. We know all of you want to buy your tickets, and if you have a company and you'd like to all be seated together, your company be seated together in a section, please contact the Chamber of Commerce or one of these banks for a set of tickets and really back Grand Prairie up and have a good Grand Prairie night with the Texas Rangers.
I might add one other thing that I think I
Yes.
failed to mention, that it is June 24th, Friday night, June 24th.
And did you mention the time?
Right. I failed to mention that. The first game starts at 5:35. And that may be a little early for some of you folks, but good Lord, there's lots of baseball in a doubleheader.
That'll be a real fun evening. You can go out and eat nachos and drink all of these good soft drinks and have a good time, can't you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, before you get into your class reunion, we'd like to remind everyone about the reading rodeo that's going on at the Grand Prairie Memorial Library. If you're interested in that or anything about reading and you're a young student, would you call 264-1571, and it'll be a good opportunity, and you get a certificate if you read the quantity of books. So all of you young boys and girls, go to the library or call the library and get involved in the reading rodeo. It's going to be real fun. And you have a couple of more class reunions.
Yes, ma'am. The class reunion for the 1948 Grand Prairie High School group will be getting together on July the 9th, which is a Saturday. They say time open, so I guess that means come any time, and it's at the Woodcrest Country Club, and it says to contact Bob Tanner at his office at 387-3357 or at home 498-0346. Also, for the class of 63 reunion, 20-year reunion, looking for 60 missing classmates, it says. This is on July 23rd of 1983. Time again open at the Elks Lodge on Idlewild. It says call Sandra Noel Vines at 641-4887 and or Rick Cogburn. And one other class reunion, the 1978 Grand Prairie High School class reunion on August 13th at Woodcrest Country Club. Call Kyle, Pam, or Dawn. 264-5030, 262-1185-641-2758.
Wonderful. David, you've been a wonderful co-host, and before we leave, we would be very neglectful. We've been trying to get this on the air for 2 or 3 weeks. The state PTA, the Texas PTA, gives approximately 8 scholarships all over the state. Did you know that a teacher here in Grand Prairie, received one of those very splendid $400 scholarships, or $600 scholarships? And it is Daniel Ford of Bowie Elementary. We'd like to salute him, and we hope that his studies this summer on the scholarship will be of a great benefit not only to him, but for all of the students that he teaches, because he's in computer study. And we know that this is going to be of a great benefit to the Grand Prairie Independent School District, and we'd like to thank the Texas PTA for awarding this scholarship to one of our very own at Grand Prairie. And David, we'd like to thank you again for co-hosting the show with us. We'd like to congratulate you on your presidency of the JCs, and we know that you're going to revive them and that they're going to make the JCs now second to none in the state, even though the state office of the JCs is located up on West Main in Grand Prairie. And before we leave, is there a parting thought that you would like to say?
I would just like to say thank you, Miss Jackson, for a lovely time. Every time I'm with this lady, I'm more amazed and more impressed. She's a fantastic lady.
And now you see why we invited him to be on our show. He said exactly what we told him to. Thank you, David.
Thank you.
And we always end our show in, you know the name of our show, it's happening in Grand Prairie. So we are reminding you that this is Ruthie Jackson with the Chamber of Commerce and
David Weiner with Grand Prairie JC.
reminding you it's happening in Grand Prairie.